Hey, Squigs. Do you know where I can get 2 8-ounce pours of beer, 3 tastes of beer, a taste of bourbon, and tater tots for $10? I do. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Idle Hands Bar. Just downstairs from Avenue B off East 2nd in Manhattan. We are here with
Samantha.
Are you a regular here at Idle Hands?
Actually, we've started being regulars, but only on Wednesday nights when they started doing this.
My name is Rev Dave Ziancio. I'm one of the owners of Idle Hands. I like to call myself a beer sommelier. So we do what we call a $10 tasting, which by New York standards is still a ridiculous price. We bring in a different distiller and a different brand manager from a brewery, and for $10 you get 5 tastes of beers from that brewery. Sometimes we have multiple breweries in one night. We'll do like a thematic tasting. You get a taste of bourbon, you get an order of tater tots, and then an order of sauce made by Dan from That Burger, where he uses one of the featured tap beers to make the sauce. So we limit it to 30 people. We don't want to overstress the brand managers. We want them to be able to spend time and talk to people. So we kind of want it tailored to you. You know, you get the experience that you want from that person.
Been like 5 times, I feel like.
So you came for the tasting and you've kept coming back?
Yeah, I've been here before the tasting, but we've been coming on Wednesdays a lot since they started this. It's really cool.
Well, it's an awesome deal, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about Idle Hands. What's the philosophy of this place, and what was the impetus in getting it all started?
Funny story. So there's 3 owners, right? We all wanted to own bars for different reasons. Mine was very, very personal. When I was a kid, my dad loved to hang out in bars and drink beer, probably like many of our fathers.
And you're from Michigan, right?
I am from Michigan.
Michigan represent!
My dad liked to hang out in bars and drink beer, and he had this idea that he wanted to own a cool beer bar that served burgers. And so his whole life, that was like, oh, my end game. Like when I retire from the FBI, oh, when we sell the house, oh, when we move, oh, I'm starting this PI business. It was always like the next thing that was going to happen. And so, you know, at age 16, we romanticized this idea of like a father-son, like beer and burger pub. And unfortunately, my father passed away, having never actualized his dream. The day after he died, though, I called my stepmom and I said, look, it's not happening tomorrow, but I'm not going out until that happens. The impetus of the bar and what it is and why we did Idle Hands is Mark, Rob, and I all come from the music business. And after a show, everybody wants to go out and drink. Show's over at 10, 11 o'clock. No, evening's not done. You've been watching an amazing rock show for 2 hours, like, ready to go. You want to have another beer? Somebody's got an expense account. So we would just go to like whatever bar was near the venue, not like a rock bar or a bar that fit like the industry or like didn't fit our needs or interests, just happened to be close. And for years we were like, well, why can't we have a bar that we want to go to after show? Why can't we have a cool rock bar where like bands can hang out and we can play cool rock music and we have cool beer and we have cool bourbons, and sort of the idea of Idle Hands. So it was, we want to have craft beer, we want to have a large selection of bourbons and whiskeys, and we want to cater to the rock crowd and only play rock music. And honest to God, there really just wasn't one of those in New York City, believe it or not, 25,000 restaurants.
And I like that it includes bourbon and not just beer. So
We have to say that the bar here at Idle Hands features one of the most astonishing bourbon lineups we've ever seen. In any bar, in any city, anywhere. What have you learned?
well, I've learned a lot about bourbon, I guess, especially tonight, how to taste bourbon.
Right?
And how far down it burns matters to how it tastes. And I don't know, I just like experiencing different beers and getting different tastes.
So basically at Idle Hands, you've never seen a basement this cool, and you've never had deals this good. Before we headed out, we took a minute to talk to Dave about his philosophy behind craft beer. Is there a particular brewery coming up, or a particular brewer, maybe in the last 10, 20 years, that was really like, wow, that person's changing the game?
Larry Bell's from Michigan. I mean, that was like the first time that craft beer penetrated the bars I was hanging at, like Oberon. Bell's was the first craft brewery where I was like, oh, finally a beer. This is good. This is like more of this. Definitely Larry Bell.
Where do you think craft beer is headed? What's around the corner?
2012, to go backwards a moment, was all about big boozy beers. Doubles, and then the triple IPAs. What is a triple IPA? That's marketing. And you know what? At the end of the day, like, I want to drink all night, or I like to drink all day, and these big boozy beers make that impossible. So what I'm getting to is I think the trend is going to be very, very sessionable beers. Because at the point like this, the single cut 18 watt, right? It's 5%. It's delicious. My palate's not going to expire. My stomach's not going to expire. My head's not going to expire. I think that's the trend, because at the end of the day, as a bar owner, I need people sitting here as long as possible. And as a brewery owner, you want to move as much product. So, hey, the big boozy ones are fun once in a while, and they definitely should not stop. But I definitely think the trend is that, and the other is local. I think appreciation for beer is going to become how quickly you can get it into your hand from the moment the brewer made it.
So it's so cool that they do this. This is great.
Yeah, I think it's great, and it's pretty cheap. So,
And that's
and the burgers and the tots upstairs are not too bad either.
all right. Thanks for being on the show. Cheers.
No problem. Thank you.
So I would like to see people have their palates exposed to more, right?
Be brave, try new things, and you know what? You can do that right here at Idle Hands. We'll see you next time.
Amen.
Cheers.
Tots.